My neighbor hid a secret. The man everyone misunderstood. Have you ever judged someone without knowing their story? Maybe you've looked at a quiet neighbor, a lonely old man, or someone who never smiles, and assumed you knew who they were. But what if the person everyone ignored was hiding a secret that could change someone else's life forever? Today's story is about a young man who learned that the greatest lessons sometimes come from the people we understand the least. 24-year-old Ethan Miller had just moved into a quiet neighborhood in Bozeman, Montana. It was a peaceful place with tree-lined streets, friendly families, and beautiful mountain views. Everyone seemed welcoming, except for the man living next door. His name was Mr. Richard Hayes. Every morning, Richard left his house at exactly 6 a.m., wearing the same old brown jacket and carrying a small leather bag. He rarely spoke to anyone. He never attended neighborhood gatherings, never smiled, and always kept his curtains closed after sunset. The neighbors had all kinds of stories about him. He's rude. He's hiding something. I heard he used to be in prison. No one really knows him. After hearing those rumors for weeks, Ethan started believing them too. Whenever he saw Richard, he simply nodded and walked away. One rainy evening, as Ethan returned home from work, he noticed Richard struggling to carry several heavy grocery bags. For a moment, Ethan almost kept walking. Then something inside him said, "Help him." He walked over and quietly asked, "Can I give you a hand?" Richard looked surprised. After a few seconds, he smiled. "I'd appreciate that." It was the first time Ethan had ever seen him smile. As they entered the house, Ethan froze. The living room wasn't filled with expensive furniture or hidden treasures. Instead, every wall was covered with books, hundreds of them. Shelves stretched from floor to ceiling. History, business, psychology, science, leadership. There were notebooks everywhere, each filled with handwritten ideas. "You really like reading," Ethan said. Richard laughed softly. "I've read nearly 3,000 books." Ethan couldn't believe it. For the next hour, they talked about life, success, and failure. Before Ethan left, Richard handed him one book. "Read one chapter every night, then come back next week." Curious, Ethan agreed. That single book changed the way he thought. A week later, he returned. Richard gave him another, then another. Soon, their weekly conversations became a tradition. Every Saturday morning, they drank coffee together while Richard shared stories from his own life. One day, Ethan finally asked the question everyone in the neighborhood wanted answered. "Why do you live so quietly?" Richard looked out the window for a long moment. "When I was younger," he said, "I built a successful technology company." Ethan's eyes widened. "I had everything people dream about. Money, luxury, recognition. But I was so busy chasing success that I forgot the people I loved." He paused. "My wife became seriously ill. I kept telling myself I'd spend more time with her after the next business deal." His voice became quieter. That day never came. Ethan didn't say a word. "After she passed away," Richard continued, "I sold the company. I realized something. Money can buy comfort, but it can never buy back lost time." Silence filled the room. From that day on, Ethan no longer saw Richard as a strange old neighbor. He saw him as a man carrying lessons most people never learn until it's too late. Inspired by Richard's wisdom, Ethan began changing his own life. He spent less time on meaningless distractions. He visited his parents more often. He read every single day. He stopped chasing approval and started chasing growth. Months passed. His confidence grew. His work improved. Eventually, he started his own online business, using many of the lessons Richard had taught him. The business slowly became successful, but Ethan never forgot where it all began. One winter morning, Richard didn't open his front door. Concerned, Ethan knocked several times. There was no answer. Later that afternoon, he learned Richard had peacefully passed away in his sleep. The neighborhood gathered outside his house. Many people stood silently, realizing they had spent years judging a man they had never truly known. A few days later, Ethan received a letter Richard had written before his passing. Inside was a small key. The note read, The bookshelf in my study belongs to you now. Knowledge only becomes valuable when it is shared. Promise me you'll continue helping others grow. Tears filled Ethan's eyes. He kept that promise. Years later, Ethan opened a free community learning center where young people could read books, attend workshops, and learn life skills. Above the entrance, he placed a simple wooden sign: "Never judge a person until you've heard their story." Whenever visitors asked why he built the center, Ethan smiled and pointed toward the old house next door. "My greatest teacher was my neighbor." So before you judge someone because they're quiet, different, or misunderstood, remember this: everyone is fighting a battle you cannot see. Everyone has a story you haven't heard. And sometimes, the person the world overlooks is carrying the wisdom that could change your life forever. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And if you enjoy inspiring stories filled with life lessons, powerful emotions, and unforgettable endings, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. A brand new story is coming soon, and it might be the one that changes your perspective forever. Remember, the greatest secrets aren't hidden in places. They're hidden inside people.